Well, good morning. I would like to talk something today about understanding Trinity in a very, very subtle way with biblical evidence from the creation point and how this has been applied within our own ministries and how we can learn from various biblical references of understanding the Trinity. Maybe I have also taken some kind of a comparison, which is going to really which helped me a lot in terms of how I can relate Trinity in our applicable life too. So let me go from there. Okay. Now, in understanding the Trinity, that I have always taken as that one. Trinity is one person, sometime mentioned as three, or three persons inextricably linked together. So I think this is my way of understanding and explaining how the Trinity is all about, because God the Father was there, and it has been mentioned at the beginning. So when we were young, we said the thing, we have only one God. Yes, we have only one God. We believe in monotheism. There is no multiplicity of God or multiple God or thousands of God or any other things like other aspects. So that is really, I don't have to define a god in different versions to understand him better. Okay, like for example, in Hinduism you have thousands of god. I think it is their lack of understanding in expressing the god. Like for example, if it is for studies, they defined a god as a kind of a knowledge of wisdom and wealth and protection and other things. It's highly complicated, and just I would say it is demeaning the real the power of God through our ignorance or stupidity. I would rather say that there is no offense on them together, but it's really clearly understood that even in certain aspect of understanding Advaita and Dvaita, there is a huge confusion. Like they did not understand Advaita properly. If somebody understands Advaita, they will understand God is one. And I think that's what the failure to compare or give any comprehensive understanding with so many Vedas to justify it is not being there. Park apart. So let's go back to Bible, and I would like to really understand here clearly about that, what it says that in Genesis 1:26. Let me read clearly and what it says that. And God says that it's just talking about only one God, but he says that here. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over fish, sea, over birds and everything, cattle and everything else." The word, two things, two plural we say, let us make. Fair enough. That means that there are not one person. It is really talking about another person which has been there. So it's talking to somebody. It's like a kind of a conversation between two minimum. So, and it says, let them, the word, let them have dominion over. So that means that again the word, he says, let's make man. See, that means that he did not say let's make men or people or community. He never said that. Okay, so we need to understand that clearly. So that's a clear part. We need to understand how it goes all together. So he said man, God, both of them are mentioned as singular, but actually when it comes to God, it comes to this kind of a mention of God means it is let us, means it's plural. It's already included in that. The man is also again included with the plural. And how does it go? Let us see. And continue with the word 26, 27, when we say that. So God created man in his own image. So he did not say that God created man in their image. It is in his own image. in the image of God, he created male and female, he created them. So very interesting. Man is singular. So he created male and female. Oh gosh, where is this all of a sudden male and female come together? So only one thing is very clear. Man doesn't mean he's a male. Man, what God was mentioning, is an inextricably linked male and female together. So the purpose of the Trinity, that he knows how to really create another two person in one person as man. So because God knows how to really create the same thing inextricably linked together as a two person as a one. Isn't that beautiful? So I love this subject. I just found it again. So now, then he said that, see, God's purpose is amazing. You need to understand that. So he created man and male and female together in one body, one format, everything. It is actually now the man is just moving around up and down on his own, and he was feeling very lonely. Why? Very interesting. One of the Jewish rabbi, or I was just reading some of the Jewish commentaries. Very, very, very interesting to study that. And I love that. So he said something interesting, but he says that, one of the rabbis said, so he said that a male and a female were linked together. So maybe they could not see each other, or they were touching with each other, or they were just close to each other, or within together. You never know. It's like that. So they were inside. So he was trying to say the thing, okay, they were locked up together, so they just separated like that, so they could not see whenever there was no privacy, there was no fellowship together. So the main purpose of the Trinity is separated just because of the fellowship. God identified the need of the man's fellowship. So it's almost like the rabbi said. So he made Adam, the man, to sleep, and then took the rib out of it. So he was trying to say the thing. Okay, she was already been linked here. So he pulled her out. Actually, the linking point was the rib. So he was just pulling it out and made Eve. So that's why the male and female became Adam and Eve. So however, it's not that kind of a thing with my understanding. Okay, I was thinking that in one body, actually, there were two persons inside. So God made him sleep. So we read in Genesis 2, and he said that in 21, Lord God caused deep sleep to fall Adam, and he slept. He took one of his rib and closed up with the flesh in its place. Then the rib which God, Lord, had taken from the man had made into a woman. So he brought her to the man and said, she is the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Meaning that, so it's not like only the bone was taken, the flesh was also taken. So that's what the Jewish rabbi said, the thing, it was divided into half. So Adam and Eve was divided into half. I don't know how to really imagine whether it is right or wrong. Maybe there is a lot of Hindu mythology which has been taken from the biblical understanding. The original book was, so they converted into a lot of mythologies to say that. So like if you see Shivan and Parvati, sometimes one side, this side, the other side. I'm not here to compare that, but I'm trying to say the thing, it's been just divided, and the man and woman, meaning male and female, separated, and he brought her for a fellowship. I think this is really to understand what it all talks about. So I think when it comes to this part, when man was there, and in terms of why the Trinity becomes so important for us to understand, because of the way in which God executed his salvation path is the one which we need to understand. One, okay, Jesus created the world. We all know that, because we read in the New Testament, we can take the reference: in him, through him, for him, by him, the whole universe was created. So that means that everything is for him, by him, through him, in him. So he created. Okay, so he was there from the beginning, because John clearly says that he was in the beginning with God, and the Word became flesh. So he was there, he created. So he might have come to the world many times, just like for creating Adam and Eve, and the fellowship with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. He was walking through them, and then he has come maybe as a Melchizedek to understand as a priest and a king together. Then in Abrahamic covenant, then when he came there as a triune God, and they were there to declare the God's chosen generation to come on board, and he was there. So what is the difference between that? So we see three people. One is that Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, the Holy Spirit was coming in many times. We see the anointing of the Holy Spirit coming upon Samson. We see on David coming, but there was no permanent settlement. So they just come for a purpose, and they were going. So when Jesus came into the world, that is very interesting as a mankind. So the taste of the fellowship with the mankind was amazing, not because of us, because of the love he is able to pour out, and he's able to cherish, and he loved the fellowship with the human being also. So that is the most beautiful part I would like to know. So he became, after when he was going, he was a little bit concerned, like he wanted to come back to stay with us. And he said, very interestingly, he said that, look, unless I go, I cannot send the helper who will stay with you forever. So his thought was to stay with us forever, and he was longing to do that, and he just went in. So I would read it in this way. Let's see that. Okay, this is what I would say that. Okay, so here it says the Father became flesh as Jesus. Then Jesus became Spirit as Holy Spirit. That means that the image of God became Word as Bible, and then the Spirit became our companion through love, understanding to be with us. So he is the link between the Father and us. So the Father, the image, came in as a person, as Jesus Christ, made us eligible to participate in the Trinity, and sending us the Holy Spirit to be with us, and the link is completely channelized, and he became the one and only intermediary and a mediator. So it's something beautiful and amazing to understand. So this is very, very interesting to see this part of it. So what I was trying to compare with that, when Paul was trying to write the letters to the people, so he goes to the ministry. So I will compare this way. Okay, every time Paul became a Christian, after that he became a Christian, then he goes to the ministry, like Ephesians church or Colossae church or any other church that he goes, he started admiring and loving them, the Macedonian church. So his love towards the people whom he says that I have just born like his own child. He was just giving birth through salvation, and they became the children of him because they're eligible to to get into the path of the salvation. So they've been qualified to interlink with the Trinity. So he becomes children. So the love for him is like almost the love of Christ for all of us. So through the salvation part of it. So how does it go? So like I always believe that this way. So Paul visits just like almost like Jesus coming into the world. So going into the church and making them disciples, and his love for there. So he started writing letters to them, continuously giving them advice. So the letter is like a word. The word is just going to them to ensure the thing they are continuously communicating what I feel, my purpose, my longing for you not to really go away from there. All everything he just expresses it. And again he says that's a beautiful word. He clearly says that, what he says in certain aspect of all the Bible that he writes into that. So Philippians, he says the thing, every time I think of you, I thank God. Meaning his constant mind is always been there as a prayer. So the prayer became the third element of it. In Colossae he says, for I am absent in my body, but I am present with you in spirit. So all these things comes together as that. So Jesus said that I'll send you the Spirit. Romans 8, like 26 clearly says that. That's because you do not know how to pray. The Holy Spirit will be praying for you constantly. So the link of the Spirit is compared to the prayer, and Jesus is compared with the word, the letters, and the image is just moving and taking the thing. So Trinity has been applied very well. So if true love is there, so we go for a ministry and we constantly write to them, ensure their salvation has been updated, and then with a constant mind of a prayer, it becomes our own understanding of our Trinity. So the Holy Spirit helps us to pray, link from one another to one another. So it becomes a constant prayer. That could be fulfilled like without ceasing. So only Holy Spirit can pay for us without ceasing. So He's in us, allowing Him to pray for others, those who have been loved unto Him. I hope this message is quite a blessing to you. I would like to share whatever it came on my meditation. God bless you all. Thank you.